The biggest single student loan forgiveness opportunity in history ends tomorrow. It ends tomorrow. And how many people could benefit? Way fewer than have currently signed up for this thing. So it's called the IDR waiver. For many of you, you maybe have heard about this before, but it's a lot bigger deal than anybody realizes. So the IDR waiver, what does it do, right? It gives you credit based off of whatever loan is the oldest in your entire set of loans, and they credit you with that oldest loan on the new consolidation. So that's a backdoor loophole that they're using to get massive billions of dollars of student loans forgiven. And if you are an elder millennial or a Gen Xer, you are the number one person that could benefit from this. So let me explain again. So pretend you went to undergrad in the 2000s or something, and you were listening to, a bunch of, 2000s era hip hop, you were loving life, you had a big gap year, you did your first career, then you went back to grad school, right? So then what happens is you've got one loan that probably wasn't paid off from undergrad, and you've got a bunch of other loans from grad school. During this IDR waiver, which ends tomorrow, you could consolidate at studentaid.gov, roll everything up together, and get credited on those grad school loans as if you've been making payments for as long as you've been making those payments on the undergrad loans for. So the reason this is a big freaking deal is because something like only half of people, I think, that could qualify for this discharge have actually gotten it. That means there's tons of people out there that could have all of their loans forgiven, 100% of it, or they could be almost forgiven. They could be almost at the finish line and not even know it. You probably have a lot of friends and colleagues out there that probably qualify for this and they don't even know. So if you're an elder millennial or a Gen Xer and you have some colleagues that you went to school with, it's worth an awkward text message. Hey, did you hear about the IDR waiver? It ends tomorrow. Send that to as many of your friends as you possibly can, because that's the point of Student Loan Planner. That's the point of having this Instagram account. That's the point of having social media accounts for us, is to try to help people get the maximum amount of loans forgiven or, paid off in the most efficient way they possibly can. And this opportunity is going away. So after April 30th, between then and July 1st, it's a little bit speculative as to what happens with consolidations. But until tomorrow, it's a big opportunity. So again, if you need to get your loans forgiven or at least get years of extra credit towards forgiveness, you got to consolidate by April 30th at midnight. So again, that's studentaid.gov/loan-consolidation. That's the URL to do it if you need to do it. And remember, the point of doing this is because you could get, your oldest loan credited to the entire consolidation, and even periods of non-payment still count as if they were payments. This is really wild. This flies in the face of the normal rules for paying on your loans under IDR, which is why this is a loophole, which is why this is an opportunity that's ending, because they can't keep it going forever. So if you have tons of forbearance, tons of deferment, you were on the wrong repayment plan, you had the wrong kind of loans, this is your one-shot opportunity at forgiveness, and it's just a big freaking deal. If you already have private loans, unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done. Now, the issue with the private loans is some people think they have private loans and they're not private loans. So what I mean by that is if you have loans that are called FEL loans, those are loans from before 2010. They're federal. They're not actually private, even though they might look that way. There's loans with Department of Health and Human Services that people have called like loans for disadvantaged students that look like they're private loans, but they're actually not. They're actually loans that could be consolidated. So we're going to cover a lot of other stuff on this account about student loans after this deadline, but right now, everything is about the IDR waiver. Everything is about the IDR account adjustment. This is an opportunity that is ending tomorrow at midnight, and it's a big freaking deal. Again, we think maybe there's probably half of people out there that have not qualified for this opportunity that could get it, and that's freaking huge. And, many people could be on repayment for years fewer if they find out about this. So, this is just, again, such a big deal. It's worth awkward text messages to your friends and colleagues, especially if you're a Gen Xer or you're a elder millennial, right? If you know, if you know what the Black Keys, the White Stripes, Will I Am, I'm going to try to come up with some more like band names. If you know, Fergie, what are some other like elder millennial, like Gen Xer names? Maybe you can put it in the comments if you can think of any, right? If you attended like an NSYNC or Britney Spears concert live in their prime, if you watched Step Up and remember when Flo Rida and T-Pain came out with, the song in that show, gosh, I mean, you could try to come up with as many analogies as you can with like, are you in this target demographic that could save a boatload of money from the IDR waiver? Yeah, somebody said Rage Against the Machine. I don't know, like Nickelback is controversial, but are they kind of older? I think they are. I mean, heck, if you're like a Bruce Springsteen or Bon Jovi or Madonna fan and you went to one of their concerts live, you might even still benefit because this is something that, again, if you still have loans, they're taking credit based off the oldest loan that you put into the consolidation. And this is transformational. This was like intentionally designed as a loophole, as a backdoor way to get tons of money forgiven. And they can't just give it out to people because it's a loophole. So you got to actively take, the steps of consolidating. So, again, elder millennials and Gen Xers of the world unite. Start texting your friends. Let them know about this because it ends tomorrow. And you could save somebody's, you could save the equivalent of somebody's house on this. I'm not exaggerating, right? And then there are opportunities when you shouldn't consolidate. The main reasons would be if you have the same credit on all of your loans for forgiveness and you have a really low IDR payment because the last time you recertified was before COVID, then you shouldn't consolidate, right? But pretty much everybody else should. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Let us know. We'll try to do one last live to let people know about this IDR waiver consolidation opportunity, which ends tomorrow. And you can still do this if you're in PSLF. This is for PSLF, not PSLF. This is for everybody that can benefit from this. So again, biggest opportunity for forgiveness ever in history ends tomorrow. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you need to comment and ask questions and let your friends know about it. Thanks, everybody, for following Student Loan Planner.